Hello and welcome back to Triclaw Gaming with me, Fletcher, and today we have a second tour around one of my completed parks. I thought I'd give it another go. But before we get to actually touring this particular park, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already done so for more of us from Triclaw Gaming. So where are we today? Well, this is my Arizona Reserve Park, which was started on stream, and I've used it in a few of my other videos, but I've realised I've never actually done a full tour around it. So we're going to start wandering around in the new first-person mode that was included in the patch. It's quite a big park, so this is probably going to be a bit lengthy. So, what do we have to start with? Well, I'm not using the Jurassic World entrance, I'm using the helicopter entrance here, just because this is... I just prefer that particular entrance for this particular park. And the first place that we go to is this large plaza here. Now, this is the sort of decorative touch that I built for the plaza, without realising that actually from a guest perspective, you can't actually see the nice decoration that's actually beyond that. So I think I would probably change this next time. But from above, it looks very nice. And what I'll do is towards the end, I'll show you the whole park from above. So what do we have on the right-hand side? Left-hand side, sorry. Well, we've got the guest facilities, toilets, food, and a nice little seating area here. Obviously this park has been built without a lot of mods, including Kyodenics fences, so this is why the old fence is still here. I would probably change it next time, but I thought it would be a good thing to show you what I was able to do with the basic bits, fencing types and such that we have in game. Right now we have a nice little vegetation feature here. And I'm just going to quickly run to the other side of the park, of this plaza. So on the right we have more guest areas, coffee shop here, and this is interconnected to a gift shop. And back here we have a nice little aquarium for the guests, and that's basically it for the guest features here. We've got a nice little garden here, which if you're brave enough to walk through the long grass, you can go and have a seat below the trees. And yeah, this is just the entrance area, so it's quite simple, but I think it's quite effective. Before we get to the dinosaurs, let's just quickly take a walk to the left. So to the left hand side of the park is all the staff area that you'll be needing. So this is the main path for the staff, and you'll see that at the back here we have all the facilities needed for, at the time, Sandbox building. So we've got the staff centre here, ranger station, and the hatchery. And this is all positioned on the edge of this little lake here, which is actually part of a river that goes through this wild zone, and that's a bit more this wild decorative zone is kind of the story for this particular park and is a bit more obvious from above, but we'll go into that later on. So what do we do then in terms of the dinosaurs here? So there are two exhibitions, or exhibits I mean. We'll start on the right hand side. Just quickly go past the Central Avenue. So on the right hand side we have the plant eaters in their well enclosures. They don't have a viewing gallery here because the viewing gallery is at the far end. So we'll go and have a look at that in a moment. But there are Minmi, Oranosaurus, and I think Chungkingosaurus in there. This viewing gallery, however, looks out directly onto, if we, there we go, looks out onto the Albertosaurus paddock. Two Albertosaurus in there, and they've got a nice little decorative touch here with the Jurassic Park gate. A little bit of fencing. Behind that gate is actually where the goat feeder is. So obviously, people don't see the goat rising out of the ground and running around. Just a little bit of not necessarily realism, but to keep the illusion for the guests. And we've also got double fencing here, which is a feature I tend to use in a lot of my parks for the carnivores, just for some added security and realism. Now, obviously, herbivores that are not too dangerous only have the one. Now, this is the central avenue. So this avenue, as it's coming towards nighttime, and I have left day-night cycle on so you can see what this place looks like in the dark. So this is the central avenue that runs up from the entrance up towards this grand central aviary, which you can see from all the way back there. I've used the Jurassic Park aviary just simply because I think it has a much more impressive look to it as you walk up to it. And this central square is actually basically the center of the park. We'll quickly head to the right just to have a look at the enclosure here, which we got a nice view of over the fence from this ridge line, but we've also got the viewing gallery there. So yeah, we've got a Rhinosaurus in there, we've got Minmi in there, we've got Chungkingosaurus in there, and they've got this nice little monorail structure which surrounds this central hump, which is where all their food is. And they've got the water down at basically the viewing gallery area so people can get a good view. Inside the aviary, meanwhile, we have a few different species. So this is a very large aviary. It's, I think, 10 aviary pieces in size. And we've got some Dimorphodons in here, which were Rhamphorhynchus, but that particular mod no longer works, so they're back to being Dimorphodon. And I think there are some Pteranodon in here somewhere as well. Yes, there's one in the back there. Just a few aviary species in here. I didn't want to overfill it. I wanted them to all have enough space. And yeah, I think that this looks really nice as this really huge central aviary. So heading to the left then, out from the aviary, and we head towards this wild side of the park and the hotels. So this is a good time to go into what the story behind this particular park is. Basically, as part of an agreement with local government and the environmental agencies, basically the DFW have decided that, or agreed, that part of the park will be completely left alone, will be allowed to be wild for the preservation of local species, and the rest of the park can be used for the dinosaurs. And this artificial bridge here over this river and this hotel area is quite small for a park of this size, and again is kind of in the wild zone. And basically my thinking was that guests staying at these hotels would get sort of various outdoor pursuits, activities, stargazing, that sort of thing in this wild zone. So protecting the natural environment is part of the importance of this particular park, and I've given them some nice seating areas outside as well. We'll head down from the hotel area to the other exhibits in the park, past this artificial river, given a couple of pylon sort of artistic effects here, just as a little something. So the rear side of the aviary has a completely different feel to the front side. So for the rear side, I've gone with the Jurassic Park era aviary galleries, just to give it a bit of difference to the front side. And this opens directly out to the visitor centre, but also this large sauropod enclosure, which takes up a large part of the middle of the park. Heading down towards the visitor centre, however, again, it's in a nice position in correlation to the aviary. We've got some nice flower arrangements and stuff in the front. This side heads down around this particular enclosure. The rear is fenced off just for some security, and this is the massive rear Lagoon exhibit where the Chronosaurus are. We have this raised seating area up here. You can notice, and I'm glad I've got this part in the darkness, I've gone for this sort of ultraviolet blue light, which I think just really works in the nighttime for the amenities. This is just another seating area here. But if we take a look, both sides of this are basically identical, by the way, so we only have to go down the one side. So we've got obviously more guest amenities here and seating here. It just looks so good in that blue, or at least it does to me. Let me know what you think in the comments. With the this black and sort of orange colour scheme as well, just looks amazing, I think. And we've got some more aviary viewing galleries here. The lookout into the Chronosaurus enclosure. Let's see if we can see any of them. Doesn't look like it. I wonder where they all are. Doesn't look like there's any that we can see from there. Well, we might have better luck with the viewing tower. So at the rear end of the park, there's, on both sides, there's some more decorative seating area and vegetation. And we've got a much larger amenity area with lots more shops. Just as a sort of shopping section, I suppose. And then we've got two viewing galleries for the Lagoon and a viewing tower. The viewing tower opening out onto the shark feeders. There's this central island in the middle. Obviously that has been positioned thanks to mods. And hopefully we might actually see a Chronosaurus somewhere. This is one of the problems with the nighttime on this game. You just can never see the stuff in the lagoons. Right, so heading back down then. Past the guest areas and the lower galleries. And it's exactly the same on the other side. The only difference on the other side is that we have this staff area with the lagoon hatchery and also this viewing tower that overlooking everything, just to keep an eye on the lagoon. And you've also got the same amenities and stuff down there. So let's go back to the central aviary, which forms the centre point of the park, and every other part of the park comes out from this, and have a look at the right hand side of the park. Past these sauropods, look at that, Memenchisaurus in here, and LA Studios Maya Gaia. I still can't quite get that pronounced correctly. And there's a Margosaurus in here as well. A Margosaurus being one of my favourite additions to the game. So heading down here then to the right hand side, we have another guest area that overlooks this sauropod exhibit, and upstairs seating, viewing tower as well, just for the best of views. But behind this you can see these three glass aviaries, and these are not aviary structures. I've designed them to be, in my sort of imagination, greenhouses. So inside each one there are varieties of paleo plants, and basically my thought would be, as a guest, you'd wander in, go inside the greenhouse, have a look at all the paleo plants being grown and the paleo botany side, and yeah, that's just an imaginary exhibit, but it's an example of using pre-existing buildings and components for imaginative idea. Let's just have a quick look in here. There we go. Lovely. So, heading further down, we've got a nice little seating area here against the fence for the sauropods. Heading further down. Oh, there are Parasaurolophus in here as well. So there's this is quite a big enclosure actually. It takes up most of the centre point of the park. So we got a sunken lagoon decorative touch here, with just a little rock feature in the middle. I'd probably put a fountain in there if I was to redo this. And this just forms a bit of a roundabout for different areas. So we've got the viewing tower here at this end to have a complete look at this central enclosure. There we go. Oh, that's my glow-in-the-dark Memenchi. The Amargas down there. This viewing gallery for a second lagoon here. And this is just... does it even look out onto the lagoon itself? Yeah, so this lagoon has ichthyosaur and plesiosaurs in it. And they are actually in view. And this particular lagoon was created with an idea in mind. We've got a very large guest area here with lots of guest structures and amenities. And we've got several hotels. And these hotels actually hang over the... I wonder if we can go in them. Yes, lovely. These hotels actually hang over the edge of the lagoon, and my idea would be that they offer fish feeding experiences for the plesiosaurs and the ichthyosaurs, and it would be sort of a special feature of that particular hotel. And continuing around the edge of this lagoon, we just have this fenced off little... I've called it a garden, but it's probably more of just a park or a nice little seating area just away from all the dinosaurs on the banks of this pond. Again, just a little decorative touch. So actually there aren't that many dinosaurs in this particular park, but it's not really designed to display lots of dinosaurs. It's designed primarily to be just a bit of a reserve. And I don't think this path goes anywhere special. No, this one just leads back around to the paleo greenhouses. Now what I'll do is I'll now switch to an overhead view of the whole park using capture mode so you can see it from the overhead view. So here you can see this is the entrance plaza with the decoration that you can't see from ground level. I think Kyodenic's new lagoons will help with that. But there's the decoration that I've done, just the Jurassic Park gate and the little rock features and that. We've got the guest areas to the right and the left. We have their seating. You can see the central avenue and the central aviary. We've got the nice staff area here to the left, and this enormous wild zone here. I'll just zoom out a little bit more. So that's the main wild zone, which has just been left with this river running through it, and then you've got the one where the hotels are, with the river going all the way into the back, and there's this artificial mound here to basically divide the hotel view away from the lagoons. Here's the central aviary. Oh, well, before we get to the central aviary, there's the two exhibits, the Albertosaurus and the Uranosaurus. You doing okay, Albertosaurus? Lovely jubbly. Beautiful skin. And popping across the fence, there we have the Chunkings, the Uranosaurus, and the Minmi. So, the aviary enclosure, as huge as it is, forming the centre point of the whole park. And then obviously we have the greenhouses over to the right hand side. We have the hotels on the left. And in the centre we have that enormous Kronosaurus exhibit with some more wild areas around it. Ah, we've actually got one. We actually got a Kronosaurus here for once. Right, boys? It's lovely. And this is obviously the massive central sauropod enclosure. You can see just how much of the rest of the map that takes up. We've got the greenhouses here. So we've got the, I think they're calamites in this one. And you can see what I've done if I just phase through. So this is the mock entrance. Obviously guests will not use this. But I suppose if you use Cryogenics tunnels, you could get guests to walk around here. But we've got the calamites in here. We've got the tropical cycads and aloe veras in here. And then we have the fir trees, seed plants, and such in here. So they're the 3 greenhouses. We have the sauropod enclosure. We have this large central roundabout here. The little garden area off to that side. And then this final lagoon here, where you have the feeding opportunity with the hotel guests and the plesiosaurs and the ichthyosaurs, which are all pleasantly accounted for. And they've got a bit of decorative touches here. Just a few little elements, which we can probably do a lot better with Cryogenics trees and such. And I think what I might do with this particular park is, now that we have all those decorative fountains and such, maybe go back and do some edits to this park to further improve it. Maybe modify some of these enclosures a little bit, and just do a little more design work on it. But there is, if I zoom out completely, there is the whole park with the left hand side devoted to nature and the right hand side being predominantly the enclosures and facilities of the park. And this is just a very simple park here put together. It only took me I think 11 hours or so. So it's a very simple park. I think it looks very nice. I think it's very decorative. I think it has some nice features and some good species as well in here. Let me know in the comments what you think about this particular park, whether you like it, whether there are things you'd do, whether there's tips for this from this particular park that you're going to go and use in your own parks. Let me know if you think I've done anything wrong or if I could improve this park in some way. And hopefully, as I finish more and more of my parks, I've got about 6 that need to be completed. Hopefully, as I finish more and more of these parks, I'll be able to do more and more of these sorts of tours. Don't forget, if you haven't already done so, to like the video. And if you are new to Triclaw Gaming, do remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications. And also check out the other videos, not just from me and not just on Jurassic World, but also the other videos done by Dane, who does a lot of different games, such as, oh look, we've got a glow-in-the-dark Laura Titan. Dane, who does a lot of other games, such as Hollow Knight and Enter the Gungeon. And for obviously also Vice, who has his Pokemon series, Slime Rancher, and a few others on the go. So do check out those videos, and hopefully I will see you next time for some more Jurassic World Evolution. Bye bye.